Hello everyone, hope you're having a wonderful week and that you are enjoying this sketchbook series. By now you should have a few pages done, you should have some practice. We started off with understanding your materials, which was basically your pencils and your erasers, and then we went on to tonal values. I do hope that you have watched them both, and I do hope that you are practicing and that your sketchbook is filling up nicely. Now I want to talk about observation and the rule of thirds. I did start this earlier and was really annoyed because my Mac turned my videoing off for no reason whatsoever. So you will see that I have already started here. I don't really want to do this without you. I really do want you to understand the rule of thirds if you haven't come across it and you don't know it. The rule of thirds, basically, in a very, very quick nutshell, is when a subject is divided in, or a picture is divided into parts, and you have thirds. This would be in a third, that would be in a third, that would be in a third, that would be in a third, and this would be in a third as well as that, and obviously across that area too. So if I were to do a thumbnail of a picture that I want to draw, and I were to have a look at it and see how I would fit that thumbnail in, and I had a tree, and that tree was on this side, this would be the left hand side of the third. You would then draw the viewer in, draw the viewer across here and out this way, this side of the picture. So when you do thumbnails, it's always good to try different areas of putting your subject. So if your tree were to be here, so now it's on the opposite side of the page, and you were to say take your mountain across that way, but you would still bring your road this side, that would lead the viewer in, take the viewer there, back across and out this side. You could, if for argument's sake, and I mean this is purely why you do thumbnail sketches before you do a big drawing or a big painting, you could also reduce that tree into one of the thirds. You could have mountains in the background and again bring your viewer back into the scene via a river or a road coming down in front of that tree again. There are various ways of composing a thumbnail for a bigger drawing. If we look at light and observation, so I just want to show you on my iPad, I hope that there's not too much of a reflection from the light, but basically you would have the light coming in from this side. That would be your highlight, so possibly the white of your paper. This would be your second sort of tonal value. This would be your third, that would be your fourth. You can see that it's darker here. This would be your fifth, okay? This side here would be your fifth. That looks more or less like that across there. You can see that there's a reflective light across here. Always look for that. There's always a reflective light at the bottom of a subject, especially one like this. So in still life, there would be a reflective light coming off of a table, if it were set on a table, just underneath the subject, even though you expect that to be in as much shadow as that side. Also note that within this is not a solid line. It's a nice soft line, and you can see that it's reflected a couple of times. Here's a reflection, there's a reflection, and there's a reflection there. Take note of the fact that this is whiter on this side, or a lighter tonal value, and that is a darker tonal value. Now, one of the things that you could do to ascertain which tones these are is to make yourself a little tonal value piece of paper. So it would be very, very similar to what we did here. You would do this and you would put your tones in it, you would divide it up and you would put your tones across it as we did there, and you would literally cut out the middle of this piece here. So you would have paper That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, I've only got 7 here, but that is fine. So this would be your second tone. This would be your third. This would be your fourth. This would be your fifth. Obviously, you would color across this. This would be your sixth. And this would be your seventh. Then you cut this out very, very carefully with a craft knife. And you can literally pick up that piece of tonal value that you have, paper, and put it down on top of this area to see, is that tonal value 2, is it 3, is it 4, or is it 5? And that's how you ascertain the tones within your subject. Hello again, sorry, my apologies everybody. My Mac turned my recording off again, but it did stop at a very good moment, so I'm continuing with this and hoping that you will pick it up and watch this one as well. So when we talk about observation, when you first look at a subject, your observation is that you can see obviously that this is a rabbit, it's a hare, and you can see that it is beautifully taken. The photograph is beautifully taken with the light coming from the right hand side. The reason you know this is because this whole side is lit up. You can see that that side of the ear is whiter. You can see that down the side of the face is whiter than that side of the face. That's the first observation. The second observation is that you notice that there are little black hairs, even though this is so white and the reflection on of the hairs, of the white hairs, is so great, there are still little black hairs within this white. If I expand it, you can see little black hairs within the white. This observation is key because when you put those into your drawing, it helps relieve that flatness that you can get in a drawing. Now here's another observation. Have a look at the eye. The eye starts at the top up here. It goes down, but look at that. If you look very, very carefully, you will see that you can see straight through the eyeball here. That little tiny bit at the bottom here tells you that the background is darker than what that is in the actual eye itself. This is the kind of observation that you need to be looking for. You need to notice that there's a bit of reflection here, there's a bit of reflection there too, and I'm hoping that you can all see this. You can also see that the reflection is picking up a lot within the white hairs over here and just touching this area here as well as there. These are all key to a successful drawing and that you don't end up with a flat one. In this eye, if you expand it, you can see that there is something here that is reflecting in this eyeball. And if you get that in your picture, in your drawing, my apologies, in your drawing, it just makes for a really interesting drawing rather than just putting in this reflection as you see the shape there. But to add that is key within your drawing as well. If we go on to the next one, we have a look at this kingfisher, and you can clearly see that there's beautiful reflection in this eye. You can see that it's almost a whole background going on here. It looks like a tree, there's clouds, that looks like there's somebody sitting there. It is just beautiful. Have a look at these and expand them and try your best to get as much as you possibly can within that photograph and that drawing. Now, you need to decide what you're going to focus on within a piece. For me, it's all about the eyes. This is what I focus on. And this for me is the most important area. So I make quite sure that I really zoom in and understand what is going on in that eyeball. I also then have a look and see, right, what is the next thing? For me, it was the fish. I added in water droplets spraying up and spraying down on my drawing. I showed that drawing to you in the last video. So I added in, it is my own little bit of artistic coming through there. And I did not do as much of this branch as what is showing on here. But this branch is actually very, very beautiful. So if you want to add it, that's what you would do. However, make sure that it does not outshine this area of your drawing ever. I hope that this has been a good little tip for you, and I hope that you are able to carry on with your drawing and do something that helps you within understanding the rule of thirds, where your light source is coming from, and perhaps pick something that is simple and draw it, and try this little piece of paper here that I have shown you. Do it on a piece of cardboard so that it doesn't flop around. Cut out the center once you have done your tonal values across it, and use it and see whether you can see the difference on the actual tones. You maybe thought that it's a tone 5 or a tone 6, where in fact it's actually a tone 3. And where you thought something was a tone 3 is actually a tone 6. It is very, very interesting how the brain really does try to trick you into seeing something other than what it really is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know, and I do hope that you are following along with my sketchbook series. Bye bye, till the next one.